Good.
Welcome to the Behind the Art Inspiration podcast. And this is a special edition where we delve into the creative processes and stories of 14 artists around the world. In these episodes, we go behind the scenes with artists who are part of the International Online Art Collective, learning about their inspiration, challenges, and techniques while collaborating on our chain reaction project. Beginning with one single piece, each piece informs the next, provoking a chain reaction of other artworks until we have created a total of 100 artworks, assembled into one big multimedia installation. In this episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing artist Gerda. Gerda, what's your last name again? Smith?
Smith.
Oh, so easy.
Smith.
I just forgot it, slipped my mind. Who hails from South Africa. And through our conversations with Gerda, we'll gain insights into her her creative process and the inspirations that drive her work. I'm your host, Caroline Carp, and I'm excited to bring you this episode from my DC studio. So sit back, relax, and join us as we go behind the art and discover the fascinating world of Gerda Smith. Gerda, first start us off with where you are in South Africa, because I love when you explain it all.
Okay. I am in George, which is a small coastal city right at the southwestern coast of South Africa. South Africa is right at the tip of the African continent, right at the tip where the two oceans meet. That's where I am.
And so I know in our first podcast when you were here with me, I was fascinated geographically of what it must be like to live right there where two oceans meet.
Well, it's living at the sea. I'm not where the two oceans meet, but that's where Cape Town is basically, or near Cape Town. I'm about 400 kilometers from Cape Town at the southwestern coast. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the coast, but not where the two oceans meet exactly.
Okay, and I'm sure that all that plays a part in your art, but let's get to chain reaction. Okay. I have the privilege of going into the document that we've creating and kind of going through your progress as you participated in each part of your link in the chain. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to stop at, and you can interrupt and talk about whatever you want, but I want to kind of focus in just for a minute on round number four, where you made a collage.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Using soft blues.
Yes.
Right?
I got a link from Wendy, if I remember correctly, and there was a lot of strong orange in that piece. I think it was some kind of a bird, but it had a very strong orange. When I opened the link, I was just aware of this very strong orange, and my immediate response was to answer it with the compliment, which is kind of in the bluish range, to cool it down, to balance this very strong orange. So that is where that piece of the sea was sort of, had its inception.
And I think it was a buzzard that she made.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and buzzards are known for clearing decay, I guess.
Yeah, well, they're sort of birds of prey. That's yes. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you cooled it down, and I think you said something about the sea.
Yeah. Well, my idea to go with soft blue immediately, to me, that equals something about the sea. So it started developing. It's a very abstract piece that is not a representational piece at all. But it started with cream colors, and I made marks in it. And then I added blues, and somehow then it became sort of a beach, kind of. Not a real beach, but an abstract beach. And I added a figure, and I added more marks. So that's how that one developed. It's one of my favorites, that one.
It's one of my favorites because I was the person in the chain right after you.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I live by the sea as well. So
Uh-huh.
when I got your link, immediately was captured by the blue and the figure.
Okay.
And the figure turned into two figures in mine.
Okay.
So I repeated the figure and the
Yeah.
male, female. So like a couple walking by the sea is what that link turned into with and I repeated text. So your text, you had text in yours, which then
Yeah.
laid it into me bringing text into my link,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
I I use the text as symbols. It's not meant to be read,
right.
but to add texture to it. Somehow I felt it needed that kind of texture. So that's why I added that. But it's not supposed to be read. It doesn't make sense at all. It's just words and letters and different fonts. I love that. I really do. So
Mhm.
I used that in that piece, that I didn't use it in any of the others.
Well, let's jump to round number 6 that you just
Okay.
finished. So round number
Okay.
6, I would say, is very representational of what you're working on now in the
Yes.
real world because
Yes. Yes.
and that one did have collage, started with collage, right?
Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah.
of text that's not meant to be read.
Yes. Yes.
Tell
As
me how you
ground
kind of
players.
tell me your process of setting that artwork up.
Um, I usually I usually don't really know where it's going to end. I don't know the direction when I start. So I start by laying down collage pieces of text, which I find the soft, crinkly paper of little bottles of vitamins, the
Ah,
package inserts.
yeah,
They are beautiful to do this, to start this off, because you can put it down and you can smooth it out, and it's a thin, sort of thin paper. So it's not very bulky.
mhm,
So I cover the whole surface with that, let it dry, and then I usually cover some of the text with white acrylic smeared across it, but not totally hiding it. Just make it a little bit recede so
mm,
that it's not so in your face. It's
right.
there, you're aware of it, but it's in the background. So then I usually add some acrylic inks as washes over it. No rhyme or reason, just let it happen and see where it goes, because I don't know where it goes yet.
Right.
And then when I've got that, then I cover this whole surface with clear gesso.
Mm,
And the clear gesso gives me a very nice surface to draw on, because I use charcoal to draw on to
mhm,
make the shape of the face. I decided then, well, this looks like it needs to be a face. So then I put the outlines with the charcoal, and then I add again white and black um, acrylic with fine brushes. The white to give the complexion to blank out some of the background, the acrylic washes, so that you can see there's a face coming in there.
Mm.
And then I wanted this face, I wanted to take it further. I had the face, and then I thought, well, she needed something. And then I put the cream and the yellow ochre straight across as a measure of risk. Again, you're taking an immense risk by doing that, because you could ruin the whole thing, or there could be something interesting, but you don't know that beforehand. So it's quite a risk to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I did it. I'm prepared to take that risk. That is part of the steps you have to go to. You have to be prepared to go out on a limb. And if you fall off, you fall off. You paint over it and you do something else. But maybe, just maybe, you get to a place where you haven't been before. And it's a very exciting step to take, that risk.
Yeah.
Because I think if you look at the artwork, the person viewing it can pick up something of that risk, that step of risk. This person took a risk with what she did here. You pick it up. You do pick it up.
Yeah. And I'm drawn into the eyes.
Oh, yes. The eyes are a big thing with me. I keep working on the face until the eyes are talking to me,
Yes.
until the eyes have got life. I don't know exactly what it is. It's little things, tiny little things, and then suddenly it's alive.
Yes.
Then I know I'm nearly there. And then
Mm-hmm.
I usually do something little, stand back, have another look the next day, and then at some stage stop, because you don't want to overdo it either. There rather have to be something left to do. That's the place to stop.
So I've
For
been
me.
seeing your faces a lot in social media lately,
Yeah.
where you're collaborating with other artists not involved in this project.
Yes. I'm also doing a series with Susan LePlay Miller, who is a writer, poet from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw some of my work on LinkedIn. And then she invited me. She sent me some of her poems, and she invited me to look at the different verses of the poems and do something. And then she liked it. So I keep going. I'm nearly finished with the second poem now.
Wow. Well, it's quite fascinating just to watch it all unfold
Yes. It
as a
is a
collaboration.
process. It is a process of development. This person also puts it out there. She gives me her verse. Now, she doesn't know what I'm going to do with it.
Right.
I'm only hoping what I do with it resonates with her.
Mm-hmm.
I can only hope that. But I take the words seriously. I think about them. And then I sort of think of the emotion that comes to mind. If you talk about forgiveness, there's one about forgiveness. Forgiveness to me implies hurt,
Mm.
anger, hurt, being, um, being, yeah, no, it's not a nice place. But the whole forgiveness thing, and I think the drawing I made showed in her eyes.
Mm.
Um, I think I could demonstrate forgiveness there. It's different than happiness or kindness or love. It's different. Forgiveness is something special. So I really took my time with that one.
Nice. So you're coming in on round 7. Where are you in the
Yes.
link? Where are you in that one?
I think I'm in the beginning of April or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly who I'm after, but it's after March, yeah.
And
I'm in
you,
the middle somewhere.
right before this, you kind of showed me, you held up something and you said, I've actually started the background.
Yes, I did. This is the shape and size of our boards that we work on. And I always prepare, I never work on a blank canvas. And this is also canvas that I also don't work on often.
Right.
So I have to make it acceptable to me so that I want to do something on it. So this has already got a base of collage papers on. And then I had to make a little video of me working without showing the process for our project.
Right.
So I just had white, blue, and Payne's gray, and I just put blobs on this substrate canvas board and took my scraper and mixed it, and I quite like it actually.
Yeah, it's a nice background.
It's like an abstract stroke or something, and that's about 5 minutes. That happened in 5 minutes.
And so now you're ready to receive your next link in the chain.
Yeah, when I get my link and I respond to it, I will use this one to work on.
And it could come out totally different.
It's not going to be blue or Payne's gray or white. I'm working on it, but it's now ready for me to do something on. It's not a blank white piece of canvas, because I never, ever start on a blank piece of canvas. I have to cover it. I have to cover it with whatever, and it doesn't mean thinking about. You use whatever you have. If it's purple and brown and yellow, you use them.
Right.
It's not supposed to mean anything. It's supposed to play and to cover the surface. And then you can let things will start to develop from there. It's not developing on a white piece of canvas. Definitely not for me. Maybe for somebody else, but not for me. I need to start thinking about what's happening by about layer 5. At least layer 5, not before that. So that also means my surface has got beautiful texture. And I love the idea of texture, because now there's a layer of collage pieces and a layer of paint, and there will be at least another 2 layers of paint before I get to the end or to the project itself.
Right.
Because I have to figure out the link. I have to respond to whatever the link will bring to me, and I don't know that yet.
And what's interesting for me is, as I'm interviewing all of our artists, I'm listening to how everybody reacts to just the board itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everybody is coming, none of us really ever paint on this kind of surface.
Exactly.
So we're all learning how to deal with it. But it's quite lovely. What everybody's come up with is quite lovely. And when we see it in person, it's going to be so different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, we see everything as single little pieces. But I think in on the wall at the whole lot together, it will totally say something different than singles.
Let's go back to your orange cat. Tell me about the
Oh
orange cat.
yes. Oh yes, that one I remember. I got these funny little characters from Christie,
Of course.
and she has this totally abstract private world,
Yeah.
um, peopled by little beings. I don't know what to call them, little beings. So my idea there was I got this little figures, and I thought, why it belongs in Alice in Wonderland. So that orange cat of mine is the Cheshire cat.
Oh, yes.
Supposed to be the Cheshire cat. So that is why I responded with that as a sort of tongue in the cheek sort of response. But that was my response, and so I decided it will be a Cheshire cat.
So do you find yourself now that you're a portrait artist?
No, because I love trees as well. I'm not
Trees and
really. I
people are
love
alike.
portraits.
Yeah.
I I love portraits, Caroline. I basically put myself on a course with different elements, but I'm also trying to master movement,
Yeah.
gestural shapes, dancers. I'm busy with a whole series of dancers, ballet dancers.
Yes.
They are the most gracious, graceful creatures that fly through the air. And I wanted to portray that on paper to give that feeling of flight, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's easy just to make the lines, but to make them move, that is what I'm after. So I love faces. I made it also a study subject of mine, just to get better at it, just to learn how to do it, and also to find my own specific style, not to copy anybody else, but to find the style that I feel comfortable with. Because I haven't been an artist my whole life. I've been in a medical career, which is very, very different. So this started not many years ago. So I'm still in a learning, in a studying phase, but I just love it. So my other love is trees. So
Do you see a crossover of the dancers in motion and the trees? I do see the same shapes and forms and the
you're
organic
right.
nature of both. Like I am seeing the crossover.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's very good, because I am absolutely a tree person.
Yeah. Now, Gerda, where can people learn about you and your artwork? Where can they find you?
I think the most compact way or easiest way is Instagram, because you don't need to friend somebody or get links or whatever. You can just go and have a look. Everything, yeah, everything I do is there, and it's nicely put together. And my name there is Ladybird and a number 6.
Okay.
So there you will find me at Instagram. I'm also on Facebook under my own name, Gerda Smith, and also on LinkedIn, Gerda Smith. Sorry, I say it different in Afrikaans
I
than
like it.
American.
Right? Gerda. Gerda. Okay,
Yes,
so
Christy can say it.
you
Christy
can
can
say
say
it.
it the correct way. I listened to her the other night at our meeting.
Now, you can also, people out watching and listening can find out about our chain reaction project. I'm going to put your information and the chain reaction information in the show notes here. And I want to thank you for joining me during a blackout in South Africa. But
Yeah.
we were able to make this happen. And thank you, everybody out there, for listening and watching as we share our love of connection, collaboration, and art. But thank you again for being here with me. And until the next time.